Welcome to the tutorial for the LowStressLife annual and monthly budget spreadsheet. Thank you so much for purchasing this spreadsheet. I hope you'll have a lot of fun with it and that it really helps you on your journey to better finances. Now, onto the tutorial. First thing first, you can access your spreadsheet by clicking on the currency buttons in the PDF and then clicking on Make a Copy. Note that you also have a full written tutorial in the PDF as well as this video. Now that you have your spreadsheet ready, let's have a quick look at each of the tabs. The first one is the category tabs. Start here to customize your own income, expenses, debt payoff, and savings categories by filling in their names, icons, and type. Next is the annual budget tab. Here you can decide on the amounts you plan to make, spend, pay off, and save for the whole year month by month. This is the expense tab, where you can list all of your monthly expenses. These are in a separate tab to give you as much space as you need to write down all of your expenses. Following this are the 12 monthly dashboard. This is where you can fill in your income, debt payoff, and saving amounts each month. There will be no need to add expenses here, and they will automatically appear when you add them in the expenses tab. Lastly, this is the annual dashboard tab. It is fully automatic and will update itself based on all of the other tabs in the spreadsheet. Before we continue customizing the spreadsheet, I have 3 very important recommendations. Firstly, please only fill in the cells with a colored background. All of the other cells and graphs are automated, so you do not need to do anything to them. You'll actually get a warning if you try to change them, and in this case, just click on Cancel and Continue. Secondly, please do not cut and paste parts of this spreadsheet, as this could affect some of the automated formula. Instead, you can copy and paste data or text and then delete any parts you don't want. For example, if you cut and paste this, you'll see the background go white. This will cause problems in other areas of the spreadsheet. Using copy, paste, and then deleting unwanted data does not cause this problem. And finally, please do not insert or delete rows or columns to the spreadsheet. This can also break the automated parts of the spreadsheet. Now, let's get into the actual use of the spreadsheet. The first step is to decide which categories you want for each part of the budget: income, expenses, debt payoff, and saving. For the names of your categories, you can use the examples I have given on the right for inspiration. Then, for each category, you can choose an icon that best represents it. To assign an icon to a category, select the icon in the library on the right, copy it with Ctrl+C or right-click copy, and paste it with Ctrl+V or right-click paste into the cell of your choice. These icons will then be updated in the whole spreadsheet. If you deleted an icon from your spreadsheet or can't find it, first download the spreadsheet again through the currency button on page 1 of this PDF. Then right-click on the Categories tab, copy to Existing Spreadsheet. Select the spreadsheet missing the icon and click on Insert. You will now have a new extra Categories tab in your spreadsheet, which you will find as the last tab in the spreadsheet after the Copyright tab. From this tab, you can copy and paste the previously deleted icons to your current Categories tab. The last thing to do in the Categories tab is to define each category according to 2 specific criteria. These criteria will help you better analyze your finances in other tabs. First, active or passive income. Active income is earned through effort or output. For example, your salary is active as you have to work actively to get it. Passive income, on the other hand, may need effort to begin with, but then brings income over time with little to no extra work. Examples include rental income or stock dividend. Then, in the expenses part, you have the choice between need or want. Is the expense category something you need or want? Can you function properly without it? Examples of need categories include rent, groceries, utilities. On the other hand, eating out, luxury, and entertainment are good examples of want categories. This will be helpful if you plan on saving more money by focusing on reducing spending on the things you want rather than those you need. High priority debt is the debt you want to pay off as soon as possible, while low priority debt can wait until the high priority debt is paid off. Many people prioritize debt by the amount of interest you have to pay each month. High interest credit card debt should be paid off sooner than low interest student loans, for example. A common strategy is to make minimum payments on your low priority debt every month while you pay off the high priority debt. Long-term or short-term savings. Is your savings category for a long-term goal or a short-term goal? Retirement savings and deposits for houses are good examples of long-term saving goals, while shorter-term goals could include house renovation and travel plans. Now, onto the annual budget tab. First, how is this page structured? Scroll down to see areas of each of your 4 transaction types: income, expenses, debt payoff, and savings. Next to each category, rent, for example, there is space for a monthly goal or budget. On the right, you'll see the analysis of your annual budget, the totals, trend over 12 months, and the breakdown. This annual budget is a zero-based budget, meaning 100% of your income needs to be allocated to the 3 other types of transaction: expenses, debt payoff, and savings. To help you allocate all the money available, there are totals on the top row of this tab. This total is your income minus expenses minus debt payoff minus savings, and the goal is to make this total equal to 0. For example, for January, you can see I still have $2,685 to allocate. I've already completed the expenses and debt payoff, so I will allocate the remaining income to my savings, and I can choose which categories I want to add money to. When the top total reaches 0, it will turn green. If they are either lower or greater than 0, they'll be pink. It is recommended to make sure all of the top row is green before you continue. To help you fill in the annual budget tables quicker, you can copy and paste very quickly by dragging the corner of the cell, and this can be done vertically and horizontally. Be careful to select the right point. If you do not do it properly, you will see the background color vanish. If this happens, type Ctrl-Z to undo and try again. On the top right, you will see bars showing your planned expenses, debt payoff, and savings as percentage of your income goals. In this example, you plan to spend 47% of your income on expenses. This representation can help you assess if you're allocating too much money on one type of transaction and should adjust the allocation of your income. For example, you might have a goal to allocate 20% of your income to savings, and this can help you visualize that. Also, don't worry if these 3 percentages don't exactly add up to 100%. This is just the spreadsheet rounding up the decimals that are hidden. When I show the decimals, the total is 100%. To log your expenses, simply fill in each row with information on each of your expenses. For example, I want to add a trip to the coffee shop. First quick tip, you can use the keys Ctrl plus down arrow to reach the last filled in cell of a column, to quickly reach the last expense on the list and add more. To fill in the date cell, you can write the date normally. You can also double-click in the cell and choose the date in the small calendar. Please note that in the dollar version of the spreadsheet, the date format is month, date, year, and in all the other versions is date, month, year. But feel free to contact me on Etsy if you want me to change the date formats for you. To fill in the categories, I recommend you use the drop-down menu. Once you've chosen a category, the icon next to it will automatically update. It can be easy to forget about monthly or yearly payments for services we rarely use, and cutting these out is a great way to reduce spending. This subscription box is to indicate which of your expenses are subscriptions and will allow you to analyze your subscription spending in the monthly and annual tab. Here you can see your total spending on subscription services in February is $89 and represents 3% of your total spending. When deleting or adjusting expenses, please do not delete the whole row in one go, as the icon will no longer automatically update in this row. The spreadsheet will give you a warning to prevent this from happening. Simply delete in this way. If you realize you have forgotten to log an expense that happened before your last expense, simply go on the last empty row, fill in your expense row normally, and go back to the top. You'll see a triangle in the date column. Click on it and choose Sort A to Z. This will give you a warning, but this one you don't have to worry about. Go ahead and click OK. Your expenses will now be sorted by date. Next up are the 12 monthly dashboard tabs. In each one of these tabs, you only have to fill in the colored background cells. For example, you know in January you made $2,500 in your salary category. You can just click on the cell and fill in the amount. Then all of the graphs will update automatically. This is the same for debt payoff and savings. On the top right corner, you'll see the unallocated income cell. This represents your income minus expenses, debt payoff, and savings. The goal is to allocate all of your income to the 3 transaction areas. So once your expenses have been filled in the expense tab and you have chosen how much debt payoff you want to allocate, you can put the remaining unallocated income into savings. There are a few interesting graphs to note on this page. First, the overview at the top, which will show you your progress towards your goals and budgets this month. In the income, debt payoff and savings section, you will see the total amounts, your progress towards your monthly goals, a breakdown of categories within that section, and an analysis based on the transaction type. In the expenses section, you have extra graphs like the subscription services bar and the total daily expenses graph that will show you how your expenses accumulate day by day compared to the budget. In this case, spending went over budget towards the end of the month. Next up is the annual dashboard. This tab updates with each monthly dashboard you complete, so you don't have to fill anything in. It looks like your monthly dashboard, but there are some extra graphs to show your results over time. For example, to quickly see which income category is below or above your goal, you have this graph. In this case, the side hustle category clearly exceeded all expectations. For the active passive income breakdown, you can see the totals and their representation over time. You can see how each monthly income compares to your goals over time, and on the right, some data about the monthly average, the highest month and lowest month. The same goes for expenses, debt payoff, and savings. Before you head out on your budgeting journey with this new spreadsheet, here are a few best practices to keep in mind. On some computers, Google Sheets can have a problem showing certain graphs properly the first time they're viewed. If you encounter this problem, click on an Other tab and then return to the tab with the issue. It will now be back to normal. If you would like to change the size of a graph, such as this graph, which is not showing the names of the categories properly because the names are quite long, then double-click in the middle of the graph. You will see a gray rectangle appear, and you can use the white boxes to resize the middle part of the graph. You can copy and paste data from another Excel or Google Sheet. However, to avoid any problems, please click on the option Paste Value Only while pasting, and also only copy and paste column by column rather than row by row. The category column in the Expenses tab is case sensitive. Please make sure the category you put in is written exactly the same as the category in your category tab. One useful thing you can do in your monthly and yearly tabs is freeze the top part of the page and have it follow you when you scroll down. To do this, select the last row that you want frozen, for example, row 8. Then in the menu, click on View, Freeze, up to row 8. If you would like to see more of the spreadsheet on your screen, you can hide the top menu with this arrow and use full screen mode in order to see even more of the spreadsheet. It is normally the key F11 on PC and Ctrl plus Command plus F11 on a Mac. And you can use the same keys to stop the full screen mode. Most of the information in this video is also included in the written PDF tutorial. Thank you again so much for purchasing this spreadsheet and supporting my store. If you enjoy using this spreadsheet as much as I loved creating it, please do leave me a review on Etsy. And in the meantime, happy budgeting!